So I've got an interesting one for you today. The name is intriguing. The bottle color scheme with the label is fantastic. And the scent, very odd and intriguing. I'm talking about the newest release from Happyland Studio called Shadowland. So stay tuned. So Shadowland, as per usual, they do have the standard stock bottle that EJ does use, only this one's painted black, blacked out atomizer, blacked out cap, because this label, he always has a cool looking label. It's got shadows with beams of light coming through with the purple. It's called Shadowland. So let's take a look at this note breakdown, and as you can see, it looks very fresh, right? It looks mass appealing and easy on the nose, right? This note breakdown is very deceptive. So what do I get out of it? In the opening, I get some sweet pink pepper. I get this beautiful waxy orris, and there's a dark muskiness here. So in the opening, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't care for it. As soon as I sprayed it, I thought to myself, wow, EJ made something I don't like. Like, I really don't care for this opening. But as you know, being a fragrance enthusiast, which a lot of you that are watching this video are, it's all about the dry down. And I gotta tell you, if you give this one 3 to 5 minutes, man, does it just start getting better and better and better. I really, really love the transition and dry down to this fragrance. Because in the opening, it was very weird, very strange. Like, I couldn't really pinpoint what was going on. It had this dark, almost smoky quality with the waxy orris. I got the sweetness from the pink pepper. I got a little bit of freshness. But it felt like it was trying to do so many things and go so many ways at once, and it was just a mess in the opening was really what it smelled like to me. I was really just disappointed. It's like, damn, I had high hopes for this one. And then I let a few minutes go by, and that's what really stands out to me is that sweetness from the pink pepper really takes over, and the orris comes out more and more. I had no idea how much of an iris fragrance this was going to end up being. It's very, very waxy. This is a very waxy orris root that EJ used in this one. And that dark muskiness and the aromatic quality is kind of from that black agar that comes out with the musk. And it's the opposite of what you would think. When you look at this note breakdown, you think it's going to start light and then get dark. It's actually the opposite. The opening is quite dark and strange and mysterious and a little weird. And it lightens up. It becomes fresher, more floral, a bit more powdery, a light sweetness. It becomes a cleaner musk. It really changed a lot. And then after about an hour, I was actually having a conversation with EJ about this when after the initial spray, we were messaging back and forth and I was giving him my thoughts. And it really starts to give off a Reflection Man vibe. It really does. A little bit darker than Reflection Man, but definitely a lot of similarities in the closer you get to the dry down. It really starts to give off Reflection Man vibes. Not identical, not a clone of Reflection Man in any way, but definitely similarities. The way this orris was used with that dark muskiness. This one's gonna be polarizing. If this was sitting on a counter at Macy's, because you know, at these department stores, the opening, that initial blast, that first 2 minutes of the fragrance is what sells a fragrance at a department store. This would not sell if you spend just the first 2 minutes with it. That's just my opinion. The opening is weird. That's the best way I could explain it. It's weird. It's trying to do so many things at once. But after that, 3 to 5 minutes, man, does this turn into a freaking awesome fragrance. It really does, especially if you like musky iris fragrances. Yes, it becomes more of a musky, iris-dominated fragrance. Not overly powdery, more on the waxy side of it. And it does lighten up and become more floral. The waxiness fades after a few hours, but man, does this thing change. It's quite nuanced. It really is. There's several nuances, that sweetness, the freshness, the dark muskiness, that dark woodiness. There's an aromatic quality. Then there's the waxiness of the orris to the floral change of the orris to a light powdery butteriness, like an orris butter. Very, very nuanced. I was very impressed with the complexity of this fragrance, but the opening, Man, is it strange. Definitely sample this one, but if any of this sounded good to you, the bottles are available because, like I said, being a fragrance enthusiast, which I'm sure just about everybody watching this video is, you know it's all about that dry down. The opening can fool you with fragrances. With this one, it definitely fooled me. The opposite. Normally the opening will be great and the dry down's just meh with a lot of fragrances. Not with this one. The opening was what the hell to wow. That's what it turns into. That's my thoughts on Shadowland. The performance, as you would expect, is beast mode. That powderiness and the little musk stayed into the 11 to 12 hour mark. It's extrait de parfum concentration. It just goes and goes and goes. Pretty good sillage. I wouldn't call this one a beast projector, but it's definitely a click or two below that because in the first 2 to 3 hours it is very, very strong, but not overwhelmingly strong. But if you spray this one real heavy, I'm sure it can be very overwhelming. So performance is A+, as you would expect. So definitely check this one out if any of that sounded interested to you. Link down below to Happyland Studio. And that's Shadowland, the newest release from Happyland. Well guys, that was my thoughts. I know I went a little all over the place because I had a lot to say about this fragrance because this fragrance is, for lack of a better term, extremely intriguing to me. I was shaken and wowed all at the same time with this fragrance. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have already placed your order and already have it coming? I know there's a lot of people that ordered right away. EJ told me he had a lot of orders the day he released it, which was, I think, 2 days ago. It's great if you get, once you get past that opening. I don't know, some people may like this opening. I didn't care for the opening, but everything else about it was freaking fantastic. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Shadowland from Happyland Studio, you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.